Are you high enough that you could actually type? I mean, are you like sober?
I don't even know how you could see. I have no idea.
He's a soldier. Look at his eyes. At death. He's a soldier.
I mean, while he's typing, I'm like, there's no way that guy could see that screen.
He's a soldier at death. He's bro. We got him trained just in case ISIS takes over with THC. His levels are high, and he can make it.
What do you got there?
I firmly believe that the future of entertainment is audio. I honestly do, because it gives you so much more. You're so much more accessible to them. Like you have them for the drive, you have them throughout the workday, and then even at home. How many people do you see when they're watching TV just playing on their phone throughout the entire episode, and they're absorbing what's happening through audio? I honestly think there's going to be a lot.
I've always loved audio.
Oh, it's perfect.
I think people don't listen enough. I love audio. I grew up on Richard Pryor albums. We grew up listening. We didn't have specials. I grew up listening to George Carlin. I grew up listening to... I didn't watch fucking Freddie Prinze on TV with a special. How many specials did we see later on? Delirious, Rodney's Young Comedians, but that came later on.
Well, there's definitely a good market for audio, but there's always going to be a market for people watching things too. And if you're talking about people that are sitting down with their phones while they're watching a TV show, like, that's so silly. People that do that are so silly. You're playing with your phone while you're watching The Walking Dead or something like that. It's so dumb.
I think I hate it. I don't do it.
Okay, it's just people who are super distracted and childish with the way they look at things if you're doing that. Unless it's a bad show, or unless you're like watching a talk show or something like that. But it just seems to me that, like, if you're going to watch a really good show, you should put the fucking phone down and sit down and watch that thing. You know, if you're going to watch, like, House of Cards, you ever watch that Kevin Spacey show?
No.
It's a fucking great show. But there's a lot of really good shows. And I don't think audio is the future of entertainment. I think it has a future. But it's not the future, because there's always going to be people that want to see things.
Oh, I'm not saying video is going away. Obviously, video is great, but when the name of the game is advertisers and advertising money, that's like the end goal for all of this. If you're losing people for 8 hours a day, like I think what's great about these podcasts is the people like middle class and lower are really listening to it. There are higher level people doing it, but if you can't listen during the day, you're probably a little bit out of the loop podcast wise, you would think. So if you can't watch video during the day, you don't have all those ads. I just think there's going to be a lot more of that scripted podcasts, reality I think there's going to be everything, because you have so much more access to it.
You have a lot of possibilities.
How many people do you think are really listening throughout the day?
That's all I did when I came here. That's how I found Joey, through your podcast. I was listening all day at my job.
Right, but isn't that unusual to have a job that allows you to do that? How usual is that?
When you go on a plane, there's people watching a movie, typing with earphones on. Mm-hmm. Okay? In today's market, people have an assignment or they have to type a report. They have you on. Mm. They're not watching you on YouTube, but they're listening to you. They're listening to Bill Burr, listening to NPR. They're listening to the Comedy Central podcast. They're listening. They have 40 fucking hours to kill on that fucking computer, gaining hemorrhoids by the day. You know what I'm saying? They listen to 2 podcasts. They get up, they go for a walk, they smoke a cigarette, they drink a cup of coffee, they come back, they do a little work, they listen to another podcast. You know, if you're a night security guy, you work fucking, you know, all those hours at night. You're lonely in a car, sitting there. That's when you listen. So if we're each an hour and a half apiece, 2 hours, you got a lot of time at night to listen to podcasts. We're the kings of the third crew, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, right?
We are the kings of the third crew. People that work midnight to 8, whether they're in Australia, China, New Jersey, California, that's who listens to this while they're stocking fucking trucks, you know, fucking product at a supermarket. You go to the supermarket at 2 in the morning, and the guys are stocking, they got earphones on with the black gloves, and they're putting ice cream in the cases. They listen to everything. To Jim Norton's podcast, listen to Opie and Jimmy, you know, whatever the fuck, Jimmy and whatever. They listen to the dude that used to be on it. It's amazing how much of a catalog they have to choose from.
The first guy who ever recognized me was a sign spinner by my job. I was walking across the street. He was spinning. He went to the Ice House a couple of times. I think he was going to try to be a comic.
That's funny. Yeah, Ice Spinner would be the perfect guy. That's hilarious.
This has gone to places where it's, you know, you look at your map at the end of the month and you see where the people are listening to this across the world.
Wow.
And you go, what the fuck? You know, like when Ari said he went to China, He said 200 people showed up, and they all listened to the podcast.
Wow.
They're working for somebody over there, Apple. They work for Apple
Probably,
or something
yeah.
like that over there.
Well, Apple has Foxconn. That's over in China, right? Yeah, that's where they make the phones.
But
that's
they have Americans
the
there?
nets.
Oh, okay.
That's the place that has the nets, keep people from jumping off the roof. Do you know about that place?
Yeah, but how many people actually jumped?
Enough that they made nets. It wasn't just one guy. When you put nets up,
and building the cell phone makes you do this?
they live there. They live there. They work there. They have dorms. They stay in the dorms. They work all day. It's scary. I mean, it's a step above being a slave. And people tell you it's a lot better than what they used to have because they didn't have any opportunity. And this is just how industry works. The way people describe it, they're trying to justify it. They say this is just how industry works. Industry works. You come into an incredibly deeply impoverished area. You provide them with a way out, like something, or a better way. And so that better way of working 16 hours a day, people could argue, yeah, they're working $16 a day for $1 a day. Yeah, or whatever the wage they get, which is substantially lower than whatever they make here. I might be exaggerating. You can probably Google it. Like, how much does a Foxconn employee get per hour? But they say that that's how they're able to make these phones, because they can make them in these factories where the people don't get paid as much. But there's a bunch of people that jump off the roof. Like, they have to put fences and nets all around the roof. They have nets to catch people. Like, it's bananas. And when they talk about it, you know what they say? They say there's so many employees at work. There's like 500,000 employees. And the suicides are directly proportional to how many, if that was like a population of a city. That it makes sense. That amount of people always kill themselves. But they don't do it at work. And they live there. How many is it?
It's the article I found was a little old, but it was like $12 a day. You're gonna get like $400 a month.
Wow, that's dark.